a little worried about that.
Hello, beautiful souls. Victoria here, and today I have Amelvis. She's a quantum healing practitioner and Reiki, right? Reiki
Yes.
healer.
Yes.
So we're going to have a beautiful conversation today about her journey, how she goes from her previous corporate business identity to becoming a healer and going through the quantum healing process and assisting other souls awake. Welcome, Amelvis.
Thank you. So good to be here. Yes, it's been quite a shift for me, but so many of us are in this space, shifting, letting go of these old paradigms and these old ideas of how we saw ourselves.
I know, right? Like, it's crazy if you think 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's just, it gives me goosebumps. It's so exciting to just see the shift of how people are really realizing that the things that we thought we wanted no longer have any, like, hold any interest for us.
Right. So yeah, talk to us about your path. Who were you before you decided to go into quantum healing and Reiki?
It's so interesting because I've been on the awakening path, I want to say for so long, for like 20 years, but it was always like something in the background. Like, I knew that I didn't believe, that I didn't resonate with, the religion I was raised in, or like, what would be the word? Like, well, the regular religion.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, whatever that is. I knew that none of that really resonated with me ever, and I've had ever since I was a kid. I just had so many questions. I wouldn't shut up.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, why this, and why does God? Why? How does that work? That doesn't make sense. But anyway, so I found, probably in like early 90s, I started reading. I've always been a big reader. And I found a book by Neil Donald Walsh, and it's called Conversations with God. And that was my first opportunity to really read something that just resonated so much with why I couldn't follow this religious path. And it had all these it was like God portrayed in a different way, in the way that just really felt real to me. So that opened me up. At that time, there was one meditation group that had like 3 80-year-olds. It was like, that was it, like probably like first wavers, like there was like 3 people, and internet was it. So that was it. So and I had young children, so I kind of just followed that path as far as just reading and trying to embody those beliefs myself in my own life. But it really, so that continued, and it's really been, I would say, in the last like 3 years, my children getting older also helped. I was able to focus on
yourself,
things that I wanted. Yeah. And then, so I started, I don't even know how I fell into QHHT. I was thinking about it the other day, like, what was the first thing I saw? Or it's so interesting. Like, I don't know. It just, all of a sudden, how synchronicities.
Right. Well, when you came to see me for the first time, you had already enrolled, I think, in the program.
No, I was thinking of enrolling. I wanted to, because I had never heard of it. I was like, what is this? But it's calling me, and it
did I graduate you?
Yeah, I was like, this sounds like really amazing, because one thing I should say, so one thing that's been frustrating for me is, like, I've always felt like I wanted to participate and I wanted to share all these truths to me with others, and I wanted to participate in the awakening because I've always known it was happening, but I didn't feel like I had gifts per se. So I was like, how the heck do I do this? I don't have any. I mean, fast forward, I have come to embrace you know, everything's just a path of awakening. You just get on it, and little by little, as you open up and connect, that does happen. But at that point I was like, I got nothing. All I have is like, I read stuff and I know a bunch of stuff. And so I was like, well, I can assist by helping others, you know, regress and I can do that. I can read stuff and I can learn it. So I did that. So yeah, then I met you and I was really curious, like, how does this work? And it was just such an amazing session, to really have like a tangible thing happen where you're connecting to things that you didn't know were there, to parts of yourself. And the amazing thing was, like, it's not just a session, it just, after it opens up like floodgates, I feel, because it just such a shift happens inside of you after such a connection.
So yeah, share for those that are listening, because I think a lot of people that come to quantum healing, especially those people that do one-off sessions, you're going to find that a lot of people come because they're trying to see if that's the right path for them or not. So they want to experience that first. So share with us why you wanted to do the session, and if anything changed after you decided to do the session.
I wanted to do the session, obviously curiosity, you know, for how does this work? And then I Googled and I found a few practitioners, and for some reason I really felt compelled to reach out to you. And I wanted to see how did it feel for me to experience it? And it was just, I didn't realize all the healing that takes place in the session, because it's not even just the part where you're regressing. It's like just really opening up and connecting with someone that the energy exchange is like out of this world. And I was like, wow, I can do that for someone too, you know? And that's just been, for me as a practitioner now, has been so amazing. Just these souls are so beautiful. They're like I'm just like, oh, I love you. Oh, I love you. You know, everybody that I meet. We're just all we all have the same questions. We all have the same doubts. So yeah, so I came into it wondering what does it look like? What does this allow me to bring part of myself into this collective, so that I can participate, not just as someone that is on the path, because you know the path never ends, it's like forever, but also participate as a healer. And yeah, so the QHHT has really like just opened that up for me and gave me the opportunity to like be like, yeah, I can also help, and I can also guide.
Right.
Is empowering.
Your voice is so beautiful, like the frequency of your voice. I was like, oh, you can definitely do this. I love your voice. So share with us, what are the people that are coming to you? What are the top questions that they have? Because we all know it's pretty much the same thing in different words.
Yeah. You know, this the biggest thing is, what's my purpose? I was there a long time ago. It seemed so like dire to find out, like, what is this purpose that I have? And it's so funny how it's just also, it's so simple. It's like, but yeah, the biggest one is, what's my purpose? A lot of my clients have lost someone, they've lost a loved one. And you know, it's amazing how through loss it guides you to awakening. It's such a sad thing to happen, but it's like there's a reason in everything. So yeah, a lot of people have lost someone, and they that's how they stumbled upon QHHT, because they were looking for comfort and, you know, knowing where their loved one is or things like that. And then it just leads them to like more in our work, and then they want a session. A lot of people that have been doing the work for a long time also, it just that just really want to be able to go within and connect to see why are these patterns here, why are they repeating these things, why are they having these synchronicities, like what's happening. That seems to be the biggest question, like what is happening to me.
Right. So you mean like synchronicities, like I keep seeing 111.
Yeah, just that's really popular.
Yeah.
Like angel numbers, but a lot of people have been getting downloads and just
Major ones, yeah.
having connections that they don't even understand, which is amazing, because for me it's been such a gradual path, and I'm like, why is nothing happening to me? But some of these people don't even, things are happening, like the shift is just happening so fast.
Right.
And all this information is just coming to light, and a lot of people are having episodes and beautiful things happening to them, and they don't know what it is.
Right.
Like me, we know, we'd be like, oh yeah, this is happening. But
right. I had before we jumped on today, I had a conversation with a 72-year-old, beautiful soul. And she's like, something is wrong, because I went to the supermarket and I could feel what those people were feeling. And I started thinking I'm going crazy, and I started crying, and people are looking up, like this is happening to people, no matter how young or old you are. It's like everybody's waking up.
I know. And I think, that's why it's so amazing to be part of this community, because really you don't realize that just by embodying the light and just because really all we can heal is ourselves. But by doing so, we're just bringing this energy out, and it's incredible to witness it.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of relationship patterns, that's a big one, because we all know that we are what we, surround ourselves with, right? And we tend to repeat what we see, what we experience from home, childhood traumas, and so on. So talk to us about the relationship patterns, and like how are people, your clients, are experiencing healing after sessions with you.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of them is just amazing how they're in relationships or they have fears where once we go into these past lives, the mirror, they bring so much clarity to why these things are happening. And the thing is, I explain to my clients how much they need to continue the shadow work. They need to continue the inner healing, because you can know about these things, which is amazing too. And it's like these aha moments, like, oh yeah, okay. I had a client that she had this adversity to working, and she didn't understand. Beautiful woman. And she was like, I just don't want to work. I used to work. She was an engineer, but she's like, I don't want to work. I want to find out, why does like my whole being resisting working. And turns out that in a past life, she was killed while working. She was in a village, and she was responsible for like the vegetation and gathering things. And she was stoned while she was working, and there were other synchronicities scattered throughout her lives. And after the session, it was like, wow, like there's like in your DNA, like there is, and you experienced a loss of life through this through work, and it just makes so much sense. But you have to keep doing the work, because that alone doesn't cause, it gives you an aha moment, but it doesn't cause a change in your behaviors. So it's just,
well, I do have a little bit of a different perspective with that, based on what I noticed again, I'm not doing pure QHHT. From that standpoint, I did feel like there was a lot of information received. And sometimes if the person is willing to accept it, a lot of healing, right? But throughout the years and combining the different things that I practice, what I notice is there is another way to get to that moment where that blockage is released. So for example, a client, he's an architect, and he had a similar issue to this woman that you mentioned in the engineer. And the issue with him wasn't about working. It was that he was working too much because he had to make himself feel valuable in the eyes of his boss. Like he had to go the extra mile always, but always felt like he couldn't get the recognition. So there was a bitterness to, I do so much, but I don't get the recognition, right? And then he goes into a past life where he's actually working on a day off as an architect as well. Really? And he's in a building and something collapses and he dies in the building. And his soul was stuck. So there was soul entrapment, and we go rescue that part of his soul. Well, that issue is gone, right? So, but the person has to be willing to accept, okay, this is it, unless there are more layers to that, right? Like, I don't know if you noticed that too, like one session brings you, like you said, to this, but then you have to continue the work, right? It's not just like one off, goodbye.
Right, it's not like, oh, I get it, okay, I'm fixed now.
Right. It takes time and integration and so on. So I do find that to be the key.
You know, just the bringing it to light is so powerful.
Of course. So the self-awareness, right? Like,
right.
So how do you help your clients get to that moment when they're like, for example, I have a lot of clients that sometimes they come, oh, I have this problem. Let's pick money because money is a big one. I have this problem. I need money. I cannot get money. I'm not attracting money. I have a money blockage. And then when we really go back into what that is, it's like, oh, shoot, I don't feel worthy. It could be so many different things, right? Most of the times it's worthiness. So how do you help your clients unpeel the layers until you get to the root of really what is it that we need to work today?
I feel like the interview part of the session, like just the talking, has been so healing. I know it was for me, and I found the same with my clients. It's really, usually my experience has been everyone's been so open and wanting. I haven't had any negative experiences with any of my clients where they're like doubting or just some people go just to prove you wrong, or like to be like, this doesn't work. I haven't had that experience. So yeah, the part where we've the interview part has really been, I feel, is where a lot of the healing takes place, because we're able to get really to, it's like a therapy session, you know, almost. We're able to get to the bottom of where a lot of these emotions are coming from, and them just speaking about things and just questioning and digging a little bit deeper really brings a lot of things to light. And it's funny how sometimes how they have to have questions for the subconscious. Well, sometimes questions come up that they didn't even know that they had. So
So I hope that people don't come with that idea, right? Like, let me prove you wrong, because they're paying a lot of money. It's not like they're paying $50.
No, it's true. But I've seen some cases, not personally, like I said, where, just their ego and they're just like, I don't think this is going to work, but I'm going to try it. It's like, why do it? But
this is too simple.
Exactly.
I had a few of those for sure.
How did you navigate that?
Well, when people are paying, the moment that they decide to make that investment is like, okay, I'm doing this, right? But then when it gets to the point where they're actually reliving traumas and going to past lives, I think I'm making this up. No way, this is too simple. It cannot be like that. I'm like, okay, well, let's let's leave all of that to the side. And right now
Yeah.
we're just going to pick up everything that we need and then we deal with it later, right? So
Yeah, there's a lot of, I think I'm making this up. And I'm like, okay, if you were going to make this whole thing up, like, would that be what you would pick?
yeah,
Like,
thank you.
would you be
Sure.
stumbling through the forest, like all alone? Like, would that be the thing that you would pick?
Right. Out of all things.
Yeah.
Well, we also have a lot of clients that are very like having very interesting experience, magical experience, like I'm a goddess, I'm a queen, this and that, right? And it can be very magical. So it feels like, oh, I definitely think I'm making this up. But at the same time, it's like your soul is giving you the images that you can handle for whatever you need, right? So sometimes those lives are like the beginning of the journey because people need to know
Right, a
that there is more,
positive.
right?
Yeah.
To get that strength so that they can continue the journey to do the hardcore stuff that they're getting ready to
Yeah,
do.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, something to like doesn't break them right off the bat. We'll
Exactly.
save that for later.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, let me give you the easy one now, and then I'm gonna hit you right there where it's needed.
Yep, those will come. It's such a roller coaster, you know, the healing journey. It's just, you think like, okay, I got this, and then it's like another dip
Yeah.
and another.
How do you navigate through those ups and downs? I mean, we all go through it.
Um, I I just, you know, I've fully committed to it. Like I said, I've been on the journey for so long without having been committed. I wasn't committed to it. And I feel like I lost a lot of time, even though I fully believe that everything happens in divine timing and in divine time frame. But I just really have made a full commitment to my own awakening and to embodying my own power. So I'm just I just plot through it. I feel like I've chosen an interesting path. You know, a lot of people go into solitude, which is great. And some days it's what I want. Like on some days I'm just like, I'm gonna go buy a farm in Arkansas and I'm not gonna talk to anyone ever. And it sounds amazing right now, actually.
I know, right? I'm joining you.
I know, right? Like, let's go. And then, but because it's hard being surrounded. So I've chosen to share a life with a lot of people that don't share my journey, that aren't on this path with me. And it certainly adds to, and I'm sure a lot of people do. I mean, a lot of people, you know, that's part of like why people are feeling like they're losing everybody, like they have no friends, because you get to a point where you don't want the small talk anymore. And I've always been so good at like juggling. I'm a Gemini. I can be whoever you want me to be. I can party and I can, you know, yeah, I can like I can do all the things simultaneously. But so I could hang out with anyone and engage and just like have a good time with any kind of thing. And as I've progressed on this path, it's like you just don't want to anymore. Like it just seems like you lose interest in a lot of things that you found interesting in the past. So people drop off because you just don't want to really go do something that you're so focused on this path. Yeah. And everything starts to look like a waste of time. Other things start to look like a waste of time. So yeah, so how do that's been a big thing. It's consuming me. It just becomes everything that lights you up. For me, it's become like what I want to read about, what I want to wake people up. I want to continue waking myself up. And that's all that I really long for. So that's how, it's just weird how that's progression has happened to where I could juggle it before, where now it's like really just hard to want to do anything else.
Yeah, well, I guess I also, part of the question that I had in mind was, a lot of clients, they go through the healing journey, they hit a wall and it goes down, like having another dark night of the soul. Oh my God, I am back at another dark night of the soul. How did I do this? I thought I was doing so good.
I was fixed, right? I thought I was fixed already.
Yeah.
I've been very blessed. I've thought about this a few times. Like, there's so many people that are like really having a dark night of the soul, and like really has brought them really down to be able to pick themselves up. That hasn't been my experience. Sometimes I've asked myself, like, am I doing it wrong? I have moments. Yeah, I'm like, am I doing it wrong? Like, this is kind of easy. It's been easy, not easy as in it's been emotionally challenging at times, but it hasn't like brought me to
Thank
my
you.
no, it hasn't. It's I guess everyone's different.
Yeah.
I've had clients that have had to like that have suffered from like severe depression, and one in particular like was on depression medication for like 20 years, and she recently got off of it.
Beautiful.
Got off her medications. But yeah, I know that I it's funny because I do ask myself that some people do have a very, very difficult time. What are your thoughts? And is there like a reason why that happens I mean, I guess it's just that's what works for them to like bring them up, or that's what they need, maybe.
Yeah, I think every time we go down, we just go deeper to another level of what it means to be here now. So when, I used to, I remember 15 years ago, I had to schedule a time for me to cry because I couldn't cry. I was like, whoa, I need to cry.
There's no time.
So
I don't have time in my schedule.
I got some wine and I watch a lot of drama because I don't like watching drama. They make me cry. So I watched until I couldn't stop. And then I started crying and I cried for like hours. So to me, it's like every time we go down, we're high, like, oh my God, wow, everything is beautiful. And then you start going down, there is another level there, just like another layer of the onion, right? Like, what else am I going to find? So looking at it from what else is there with amazement, but also curiosity, and like, I must be something amazing because I was just up, right? But instead of looking, I think sometimes we focus so much on, shit, I'm going through another one. I must be doing something wrong. When we change that perspective, and it's like, what else is there? Because every time I go through one of those, I come out even stronger than before. So I'm like, when is the next one?
There's a gift down there waiting for you to find.
Yes. I'm like, I want this Phoenix Rising.
Yeah.
I'm going for it. So
it's funny you said that about the drama, watching the drama. I've become so sensitive. Like, I don't watch TV very much because everything makes me cry. Like, I'm just crying not all the time, but I'm crying if I see something sad. I'm crying, for everybody. But with that being said, I'm also allowing myself to cry, which was something that I didn't do. I had to be very strong for myself, and I didn't allow myself to have emotions. It was like, I just, push it. And I've been allowing myself that lately, like, feel it's okay. Like, if something hurts, like, I'm letting myself feel it. And that's been very, very healing. And, and very, very weird too, because I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? I'm literally crying all the time. But yeah, like these shows, I can't watch them. Everything is so like, is that I know that's part of just being open, more connected, but it's like everything is just
I was very sensitive since always, right? So I always stay away from drama, like the novelas. I couldn't. It was too much for me. And I will go by the living room and see my family watching the novelas. I'm like, oh, those people are so weird. Like, why would they put themselves through that trauma? But I think also there is a layer there of what is in that part of what I'm experiencing through watching that movie or whatever that is triggering something within me. And I find a lot of it's like cheating. Like if I really want to cheat about what I need to work on next,
Oh,
I
that's
might
so
put myself through a
interesting.
drama, through a drama
Okay.
movie just to pick up what I need
Like
to.
this still needs healing because it's having
Well,
a response.
but also having balance, right? Because I think sometimes we can go a little too far, like obsessively becoming like, oh, I need to heal everything, right? Like, no, at its own time, right? Like, we don't have to be so hungry. Let's enjoy the moment. But if I do notice that I am reacting to something on a movie, or I don't watch TV, like regular TV, but if I am reacting to something, I will be asking myself, like, okay, what within me is causing this reaction? Like, what part of me is still needs some nurturing and love there? So, yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
that's
cheat sheet
good.
for me. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Let's go do some work. Let's go cry and see see what needs to be healed here.
Yeah.
But
I'm not sure. Tell us about your clients when you're having those sessions. Like, do you notice that a lot of those clients are coming in with things that you also need to work through, or that somehow are giving you that cheating, um, like that little tip that says, hey, maybe you need to think about this too.
yeah, I think it's beautiful, like how it becomes such an energy exchange because they're coming seeking for, for my guidance, but so many things that come up during the session also, it's like aha moments for me, like, wow, yeah, like I felt like that, like I felt like that at one point, even if it's no longer something that I routinely feel, it's like, oh yeah, that was something like that used to
Right.
do something to me. Note to self, like I'm gonna look into that. How did I heal that? Or, are there any remnants of it that still need healing? Yeah, that's for sure. It's a gift on both sides because
Yeah.
there's so much that we still have to learn, and everyone's our teacher, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everyone's our mirror.
Absolutely. Yeah, thinking of the energetic exchange with clients and people in general, right? Like even people that just walk by you, sometimes you feel something and you're like, what was that about, right? Like there was an energetic exchange, whether we know it or no. At some level, our frequencies are matching each other and they're
Right.
resonating within the same frequency,
Yeah.
right? So when the clients come with so many interesting things that they want to work on, it's like, okay, I've been there, or I'm there, or I'm going there. It's
Yeah, I'm
either one of
going
those
there.
three.
Yes, I'm going there.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
No, it is. It is. It's such an opportunity for like mutual healing. But I mean everything is, but it's just that's been my biggest blessing with this, just because like I said, as some things drop out of your life, and a lot of people drop out of your life and you end up having a much smaller circle, it's nice to find other people that you're like, okay, yeah, like I'm not alone. We're each on our own path, but there's so many of us in the same,
Yeah.
experiencing the same things.
Yeah. It's beautiful. Tell us about your plant medicine journey for those that are listening and thinking like, I receive so many emails about people, hey, I'm going to the Amazon, I'm getting ready to do this. What do you think about this? Or should I go this way? Like so many healing modalities, right? Like you do Reiki too. So talk to us about your plant medicine journey. I think you went to, where did you go?
I went to Ecuador.
Ecuador.
I was going to go to Peru, but it was still during that COVID restriction time. And it was it was just more difficult to get in and out of there. So I went to Ecuador. I wanted I don't know, they say when you're ready, like it just, like it calls you, grandmother calls you. And for some reason, I wasn't even looking for ayahuasca. I was actually going through one of my things, and I was like, I need to go very far away. And I was looking to backpack through the Amazon. So that's what I was looking for online. I'm like, how to single female backpack through South America. Made sense that day. So
Awesome.
that day it made sense. I was like, yeah, I can do this. Now I'm like, no, but anyway, I was looking for that. And all these retreats started popping up, which it was not what I was looking for. And then it was just like, what? And then I started looking, and then yeah, I decided to do that instead, which is kind of not backpacking through the Amazon, but it just
Yeah.
like caught my attention more. And then I just booked it, because I was like, if I don't book it, because I'm always like researching, and I could do that forever. So I'm like, if I don't just do it, I'm not going to do it. Like, it presented itself to me. I wasn't looking for it. I listened to enough like videos of people saying like if it's calling to you, or like if you're ready, it'll call to you. So I was like, okay, it's calling to me, I'm going to do it. So I booked it. Didn't know what to expect. I don't do like I don't do any other drugs. I don't like being high.
Well, sacred medicine.
Yes, no, well, yeah, I know, but yes, I
know what you mean though.
What I meant was like, I don't do any other like drug, like I don't do drugs. So because I don't like the feeling. So I knew that with the plant medicine, there was going to be a feeling of like, not being in your mind, like
Right.
kind of, yeah. So I was like worried about that. And I had a reason to be it was difficult. So I went in earlier this last year, and oh my goodness, the experience was amazing. Like it was just beautiful. I wanted to experience it in more like of a natural environment, where like I wanted to be in South America. So
from your perspective, now that you're doing quantum healing and you see what happens in quantum healing and with other Reiki modalities and other stuff, give us like, what are the similarities and what is not the same, the differences? Is there anything that you think that is similar to what happens in ayahuasca ceremony?
I mean, honestly, for me, well, I think maybe the only thing that for me I found is a similarity is just that connection to source, like that you feel that you've gone somewhere like outside of anywhere you've known. It's just, it takes you to a different, energetically, it just takes you to a different place that that it's like not here. But no, I mean, with me, plant medicine, it was not a gentle experience. So it was just, it was beautiful. I would do it again, but it was, in my sessions, it's very gentle usually. And you're only shown, the subconscious only shows you what is in your best interest and what you're prepared to see, as far as my experiences have been. And ayahuasca will show you stuff that I wasn't prepared for. But I was happy to get.
You were, because you did tap into it. So whether it might take
it's what I
years
needed.
Right.
That's what I needed. I needed to be like, thrown in. I needed to be, shown like, this is your wall and you need to get through this. And there was a lot of healing done. So it's just, I don't feel that it's has many similarities, but I feel that they do work together on the path. They each bring their gift. I would definitely, if someone's called to participate in a plant medicine ceremony, I think it's something that really brings a lot to you.
Yeah, I agree. I love sacred plant medicine. So
yeah, I also love the space, what happens, like the sharing space in those ceremonies. It's really like unlike anything I've ever experienced before. So that also is part of the healing that happens there. Just being in ceremony is so sacred, and there's like just, you know, your whole body, your whole everything feels the sacredness of it. It's just really beautiful.
Even if you don't want to.
Even if you don't want to.
So Reiki, what are you doing with Reiki? Like, is that something that you offer to your clients?
Reiki, I actually had delved into before my quantum healing. And yeah, it's something I haven't been offering it so much. I haven't been offering it lately, but yeah, it's something that really opened me up to working in the energy, with energy, and something that's so powerful. But no, it's not something that I've been really working with lately. I feel like for me, it was kind of it was leading me to something bigger for me.
Understood. I can totally understand that, right?
I wanted to mention, so I came across this, since you mentioned ayahuasca. I came across some people that are doing quantum healing with like plant medicine. Maybe not ayahuasca. I think the ones I've read about has been like psilocybin. Okay. Have you heard of any of those? And I know the laws are not for that here right now, but I found that interesting, like in the future, that, you know, if that's something that that is allowed legally, it's definitely something I'd love to explore.
Well, yeah, the combination of both is probably the most powerful approach, to be honest.
Imagine, yeah.
Yeah. So the way that will work in the US will be interesting, because it's not something that is legal in the US to do anything DMT related, right? With,
I think California or maybe it's like Oregon has they're doing it there.
Yeah, there's some states that I'm not sure how they're doing that. Might still be going through, who knows? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I know you have to go through a lot of processes to get to that point where you could do it legally as a church.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that turns out. That would be amazing.
That would be. I think a lot of healing could be done with that combination.
Yeah, absolutely. So anything else that you would like to share with the listeners about you reaching out to you, working with you?
Well, you know, it's just, I'm just putting myself out there to guide and to help, such as, you know, so the same as you are. It's just such a gift to me to be able to hold space for anyone that's really looking to continue on their path. You know, this journey is just, it doesn't end. And when you think you've uncovered one thing, more stuff pops up, and it's just, but that's the beauty of it, I guess. You know, we're here to experience and to learn about ourselves and to remember and awaken. And yeah, it's just an honor for me to help anyone on that path as I, you know, remain on my path, awakening and healing.
So tell us, how can people reach out to you? What is the best way to contact you?
I'm on Google. I work as the 4 Elements Healing. I'm on Instagram as the 4 Elements Healing, or Google.
And your website is the same, right?
The website's the same, 4elementshealing.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Any last minute messages?
Thank you. No, thank you for having me.
It was so much fun.
Love holding space with you and just talking with you.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.
Have a great day. Bye.